So with DC's latest reboot of everyone's favorite Bat Detective set to drop on March 14th, the film has been given its official rating as per the Motion Picture Association, and to my surprise, it's PG-13. When I first saw the tweet pop up on my timeline, it irked me a tiny bit. And then days went on and it properly just took residence in my head rent free. While yes, I understand that all theatrical Batman movies have been PG-13, a huge chunk of me was hoping for a bit more of a change in direction with this version when it comes to the rating. With the studio already going for a younger casting choice with Pattinson, I would have expected the character himself to go in a different direction in terms of I wouldn't expect him to be as such a sure and established Bruce Wayne like Christian Bale and Ben Affleck's versions were. That being said, I like that Warner Brothers or DC or whoever the fuck is behind these opted for a younger version of the character because we haven't really seen that done on a big screen before. But with youth, I would expect some form of carelessness. Carelessness in the sense that this younger and more unsure Batman would be less careful in his decision, more so during fight and interrogation scenes. A Batman that won't stop punching that one thug who pushes his anger to the edge, teased for a few seconds in the trailer actually. A Batman that loses his cool and explodes in a pit of rage if the criminal he's interrogating gets inside his head, also sort of teased in the trailer for a tiny bit. That kind of rash, reckless and overly violent nature is something I'd expect to see from a more youthful Batman, which is why I expected it to be rated R, you know what I'm saying? The reasons why it's been given PG-13 as well, they don't even make any goddamn sense. Strong, violent and disturbing content, drug content, strong language and some suggestive material. The very first thing that comes into my head when I hear strong, violent and disturbing content is a rated R movie. Excessive violence and disturbing content, to me at least, equates to graphic imagery such as blood and maybe even some gore. Bare minimum some gore. Unless they plan to make Batman beat the living shit out of criminals without them shedding the amount of blood to match. Which drives me up the wall, by the way, because it doesn't make any sense in any action movie. Further compounded by drug content and strong language in a PG-13 Batman movie? Huh? Could you imagine, taking your kids to go see a Batman movie that you are under the impression of that it's like a safe PG-13 experience. You can take your family of 4 with you before witnessing strong, violent and disturbing content in this movie. Batman beating the living shit out of criminals, but it's PG-13. Unless, like I said before, they plan to reduce the amount of blood and gore or whatever that would come from this strong violence, which wouldn't make sense, and I feel like it would hinder the movie just a tiny bit. Like Warner Brothers, DC, whoever is behind this movie, the two of you, what the hell, man? Either way, I'ma back up a tiny bit. I really hope that it doesn't affect the experience of the movie itself too much. Both for the fans' sake and DC and Warner Brothers themselves' sake, this film better be good.